Hey everyone, Dr. Andrea here. We are here for our weekly live lesson. So say hello as you come in. We are broadcasting on my public page and in the collective group. So let me make sure you guys can see and hear me all right. And I'm showing up. Okay. Public page and in the collective. Okay, it looks like I'm good. So welcome everyone. This month we are talking through goals and strategy. Last week, and I don't have it. I do have it right here. Last week we talked about vision and purpose and destiny. And this week we're going to continue in and talk through goal setting. So we're going to start in on that conversation. Next week we're going to finish up with consistency and discipline. And this, since if you're watching this live, this is the month of November. So it is a holiday month. So we're going to only do a few sessions this month. But thank you guys for joining. I'm going to jump right in because you guys know these are quick little live lessons. Since I am on my public page, some of you guys might not know me, but my name is Dr. Andrea, and I'm the founder of the Kingdom Business Leadership Network, which is a spirit-filled prophetic community for Christian entrepreneurs. We teach and train new and emerging Christian authors, speakers, coaches, influencers, and other service providers how to monetize their platforms. One, how to build their platform, and two, how to monetize it while they are growing in their ability to hear the voice of God and walk boldly in their spiritual gifts. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can click the link in and around this video and you can connect with us. We have some freebies within that link. We have an assortment of different things. We have a podcast. We have a bunch of stuff that we do and that's going on. So you can find out everything by going there or just going to our website, thekbln.com. So enough for intros. Let's jump right on in. I saw some on the ground. Let's jump right on in with this. Those that are in our mastery group, which is our paid version of the KBLM. We have two versions, our collective group, which is our free Facebook group. Link in the bio, you can click and join that. And then we also have our mastery group for those that have made an investment in their growth and development in business and leadership. And within that group, we go a lot deeper than what we do here on the public channels. So we had a masterclass last night even, goal setting for your biz. So if you're a mastery member, if you missed that, you're going to want to go back. We went deep into goal setting. I'm going to kind of scratch the surface of that today. And then next week, we're going to have a spiritual development intensive with the mastery students or members. And that's going to go more into the God side of things. So definitely you all stay tuned for that. But just to give you a little bit, I'll review a little bit of what we went over last week. Last week, we talked about vision, purpose, and destiny. We really defined what all those things were. We talked about purpose being to know God, to love God, and to make disciples. We see that in the Great Commission, which was Matthew 26 and 19, that we need. God tells us to go make disciples of people. Then we talked about the 7 mountains of influence. So, and how we have different modalities or assignments based on our gifts, calling, and anointing to accomplish what God has purposed us to do. And often they're in the 7 mountains of influence. So we talked through that. If you had never heard 7 mountains of influence, go back and look at that particular video. I don't remember if I did it on the public page. So if it's not on this public page, you're going to have to go to the private Facebook group to see it. And then we talked about vision, what a vision is. We use Habakkuk 2 and 3, where the Lord said, write the vision down, engrave it so plainly upon tablets, that everyone who passes by may be able to read it easily and quickly as he hastens by. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, and it hastens to the end fulfillment. It will not deceive or disappoint, though it tarry, wait earnestly for it, because it will surely come. It will not be behindhand or on its appointed day. So we know that everybody has vision from the Lord. And we gave some definitions of vision. Basically, it's the act of seeing, having sight, looking forward and looking into what's getting ready to happen. We gave some characteristics of vision as well. And then finally, we talked about destiny, what that is, and how God wants us to fulfill destiny. And then we talked about how to walk all these things out through prayer, patience, endurance, and intentionality. So if you missed any of that, you can go back and look at that particular live lesson. It's called Live Lesson 32, Vision, Purpose, and Destiny. So today, I'm going to scratch the surface when it comes to goal setting. Those are in the mastery group, and you guys looked at, we're in the masterclass last night. This is just going to be review. Of course, last night we went 1,000 times deeper, but make sure you go back. So we always have to start with vision. So whatever it takes for you to be able to get the vision of God for your business, for whatever you're doing, you need to do that. Most times it takes prayer. Sometimes it takes a little bit of research, but most time it takes prayer. So this is my formula for setting goals that I have done for over 20 years now. This is my formula that I have done over 20 years. One, I start with vision. What do I see myself doing? Has God put on my heart to do? Then I take those things in between that and there, in between the seeing the vision and writing the goals, there is a timing guide where you need to find out timing, Kairos timing. What's the timing of God when it comes to these things? And, you can write goals in various amounts of time, 1 year goals, 6-month goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals. You're going to want to seek the face of God concerning that. And then also look at what just seems like it's the right thing when it comes to goals to do things, right? So you're going to want to start with vision, write down those goals. And this is where people mess up. They never attach an action plan to the goals. So you need to start with vision, write goals, and add an action plan. We talked about this last night in the masterclass, but I am also coming out with a mini course for everybody that wants it, that will go step by step through this process so that you can have it, so that you can do it every single year. Like I said, I do this every single year, so I should know the process, but there's a process of prayer. There's a process of writing the goals. Summarizing the goals. There's a process of developing that action plan. That action plan has very specific things within it to help you stay motivated and to help you to complete those goals. So in that mini course, which will be coming out within the next few weeks, you'll be able to have that with worksheets and all different types of things. So that will be coming out. So you'll see it and you'll see some advertisement and things for it. So you'll be able to get your hands on that at a very, very reasonable rate, reasonable cost, so that you'll always have that in front of you. So next, let's move to, I'm going to talk about a couple of things today in this short time. We're going to talk about different areas to set goals in. I know this is a business channel, but we also, we are triune beings. We are holistic. So there's many different areas that we need to set goals in. So we'll talk through the business goals a little bit, and then I'm talking through all the different areas. And then I'm going to give you some characteristics of goals and things that stop you from setting goals. And hopefully we'll be able to get through that within this 30 or so minutes. So there are different areas that we need to set goals. Yes, you need to set business goals. That's a given. But there's other areas of your life that you need to be setting goals. And I'm going to give you about 9 areas. You might have more than this, but these are 9 baseline good areas that you can start off with. Number 1, spirituality. You need to be setting some goals within you, spirituality. Around here, we all profess Jesus Christ as our personal Lord and Savior. So we have a Christian foundation or background. So we have to set some goals in that area that go past just church attendance, right? But actually make you or lead you into having a deeper, more personable relationship with the Lord. So in that, you need to be recognizing what areas of growth are actually needed for you to grow spiritually. Maybe you have issues with fear. Maybe you have issues with boldness. Maybe you have issues with, your spiritual disciplines, whatever it is. You recognize and own that this is an area, confidence, who you are in Christ. This is an area that you need to work on, and set a goal to work on it and be very specific in that goal. So a spiritual goal might look like spending a specific amount of time in the Word of God. It might look like reading specific books in specific areas that will help you in your spiritual walk, or taking classes to grow deeper. Maybe classes online or at your church. maybe joining a small group at your church that's faith focused. All these things are things you can put under your spiritual goals, but we should be having something in there that is considered our goals. So let me, you know what, guys, I forgot to share this in our mastery group, but that's all right because they got the full version last night, so it's okay if they're not seeing this just yet. But let me go ahead and share this before I get too far into this so that they can have access to this information too. So number 1 is spirituality, and I'll jump to number 2 is family. So you should be having some goals that you set in and around your family. And that has to do with maybe some things that you're believing God for with your spouse, maybe some things you're believing God for with your children, deeper relationships, spending quality time. Maybe there's some prayer requests that you have for breakthrough for family members in certain areas. Whatever it is, those are the areas that you need to have some type of goals in. And maybe it's quality time, spending quality time with those in your family, or maybe having a deeper relationship with different individuals. These are all areas and things that we need to be concerned about, things we need to look at when we're talking about setting goals. So definitely those are things that there's nothing wrong with setting prayer goals. There's nothing wrong with setting any of these different types of goals that you might have when it comes to your family. So, but that's another key area that we need to be looking at to set goals in. So spirituality is number 1, 2, your family. 3 is finances. So finances should be the amount of money that you want to make. And that goes for if you have a side business or if you have a 9-to-5. The amount of money, maybe you want to get a promotion on your 9-to-5. All that goes into it. You guys know I'm not necessarily of the mindset that I don't believe everybody needs to quit their job to work their business full time. Some people, yes, maybe that's part of what your desire is, but some people maybe not. What if you're a medical doctor and you love your job? You have a career. Why would you want to give up a career that you work very hard for to run a side business? So it just depends on where you are in life and how you've set your life up. So some people have 9-to-5, saying all that to say. So you can set goals in and around the finances that you want to make. And your business finances would fall under this as well. Maybe looking at diversification when it comes to how you're building wealth. So maybe you don't just want to be an author. You don't just want to depend on your 9-to-5. Maybe you want to do real estate or investments in the stock market, whatever it is, or investments in other areas. That should be on there as your goal. For some of you, you're going to have to do some research because you don't know the first thing in and around, diversification of wealth. So all that falls under that, anything that hits and deals with the finances. The next area is health. Health is super important. So I think all of these are really important, but especially the spirituality, family, finances, and health, because we want to be healthy in our body to be able to fulfill the plan that God has for us in this earth. So for health, some people might have extra weight on them. So maybe a health goal has something to do around weight loss. So, and I know sometimes that's a scary word for people, depending on your the struggles that you've had in the area of weight, but it's very important because it has to do being at a healthy weight, not saying that you have to be super skinny, but being at a healthy weight is really necessary to live a long life, to have energy and all these things, so that you won't have these, or you won't be, I don't even want to even say prone, but have open doors to certain sicknesses and diseases and ailments and things like that. So we want to be as healthy as we can be. So for some of us, that might take learning some things about how to eat clean, how things that you're putting in your body, all of those. It might also have to do with going to see your doctor, not being afraid to see your doctor, and getting a full checkup, getting a full physical, getting your blood panel ran so that you can know where you're at. So if there's high cholesterol, if your numbers are out of whack, high cholesterol, high blood sugars, all those different things. If those numbers are out of whack, you can see that and you can make strides to improve that, because you want to live a long and healthy and prosperous life. So the next couple of things in and around health, you can set goals for your eating lifestyle and exercise, which are good. So you might not even have any weight issues, but you just don't eat very well. And people that don't eat well, they have less energy. So they're sluggish a lot of the time, and they don't even realize it, always really tired and all these different things. And that's not necessarily the way that the Lord wants you to live. So maybe they're not getting sleep. There's all these things that happen that don't necessarily have to do with weight, but has to more so do with health. So maybe you need to change how you eat. Maybe not eat so much fast food, or eat more items that are raw foods that help you out. And then finally, exercise. We need to be moving our body. So that if that's something that has been a challenge, you need to put that down there as a goal. So those are more habit type goals that you're doing them on a regular basis. I didn't even talk about drinking water. So much you can talk about. You guys know my background is health and health education. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to my other platform with God Still Heals, our podcast. We mainly talk more on the health side of things. So that's another area to set goals. We are on number 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5, education. So you might and should have some education goals. So education goals have to do with personal development. It has to do with certifications, classes, conferences, all these different things that will help you to grow educationally. So those are things you need to be looking at. Maybe books to read. Maybe there's a certain amount of books you want to read every year, or every quarter, every month, whatever it is, or certain certifications that will help you at your 9 to 5, or even with your business. All these things can be set down as your goals. Maybe there's conferences that you would love to go to. And in those conferences, you can learn different things. So you can write down all the conferences that you want to go to for next year, and believe God if the finances aren't there, or just have it as a goal to get to that conference. The next one, we said, let me go back, review: spirituality, family, finances, health, education, and now civic and community. And civic and community is pretty straightforward. It's a donation of your time and talents to a civic or community organization. I know a lot of you guys are out there, you volunteer at your local church, which is really good, but you can also volunteer at organizations and nonprofits that aren't your local church. Maybe something that is related to a passion that you have, a passion project, maybe human trafficking, homelessness, all these different things you can volunteer at and learn some different things. And maybe it's not an ongoing volunteer. Maybe it's once in a while, food pantries, all these different things. So maybe have some goals there in and around that. The next one is recreation and vacation. You should have some time set aside, or have some goals around where you want to go, what you want to do in regards to recreation and vacation. At the time of this recording, we are in the hopefully tail end of the pandemic. And we have not been afforded the opportunity to visit places maybe outside of our states for the most part, just because of coronavirus and things, and certainly not outside of the country. But you can have some goals of where you want to go, and how often you want to go. Maybe you're not you always don't do your vacation. So maybe you need every quarter, say you're going to have a couple of days or 3 days that you actually have a vacation, and have that as a goal. You have to look at where you're at right now, and then look at where you want to be. I know this is something that I had to work on, and had to do some different things to make that happen, that I will have a vacation, because I went many years, especially when I was working, had my healthcare business, where I did not take any real vacations for like 5 years, which is not good at all. Not good at all. So we don't want you to ever be there. So even if it's a staycation, I mean, you're staying at the house, but you're just not doing work, that's fine too. And the last one is personal and self-care. You should have some goals in and around personal things and self-care things. Self-care is super important. So self-care can be, maybe there's certain things that you want to purchase just for yourself that you find joy in. My husband loves electronics, so that's something that he really, that's like his thing, is purchasing electronics when he's able to. So maybe you have a certain thing, so you want to set a goal possibly to purchase certain things that you just really, really like for you. And that's part of your self-care. If it brings you happiness, that's part of your self-care. Maybe you're a person that likes spas or massages and things. Set a goal to be able to go to a certain number of appointments doing that, or maybe it's hair and nails, whatever it is. Whatever it is, that's all self-care. We need to have some goals in and around that. Next, having me days. Maybe you don't have days that are just to yourself because you have a lot going on with kids, spouse, and all types of work, everything. Maybe part of your goal can be setting aside certain days, a number of days during the month or during the quarter, that's your me day, and that can be your goal. And then finally, counseling. Counseling is such a good thing. I had a mentor that said counseling was like a facial for your soul. And counseling, especially as a leader, because you pour out so much, oftentimes you need someone that you can talk to, that is a sounding board, that you can talk through different things that you're going through, just different things that you can relay to this individual that is not someone that you're leading or somebody that's directly connected to you. So counseling is always really good as a leader, especially as you go up in leadership. So like I said, those, and I'll repeat them, those are the main areas. And then business, of course. These are the main areas that you need to set goals: spirituality, family, finances, health, education, civic and community, recreation, vacation, personal, and self-care. And then of course business. Didn't include business right in there, but business is, we need to be setting business goals. I've talked about that, goals in and around how much money you're wanting to make, what products, what services, all the different things you're wanting to do in your calendar. Oftentimes I tell individuals to do quarterly goals when it comes to business. So every 3 months is a quarter. You're going to want to set some goals for your business for every 3 months that you're going to do. I'm going to go a lot deeper into this in the mini course that I'm releasing. But for now, you can know that much and just be looking. In the mini course, I'm going to go deeper into exactly what type of goals and how to areas that you need to be setting goals in when it comes to your business. So definitely, these are things you need to be praying about, things you need to be discussing with the Lord when it comes to different things. Maybe you have different marketing strategies and things that you want to try. So those are things you need to be searching out and praying through in these last few months of the year, maybe even into January, and writing these things down. So as you're doing that, I'm going to give you, as I finish up and close here in these next few minutes, some characteristics of goals. We know we've talked about SMART goals, or maybe you've heard that, what SMART goals is. I have another acronym called SMARTER, SMARTER, Smarter Goals. And I get this from Michael Hyatt, which is a productivity guru. He has a planner that's really good, the Full and Focused Planner, that can help you, hold you accountable to your goals. So first characteristic is for the S, specific. Your goals must be specific, not just vague. I want to buy a new car. Maybe the goal is I want to buy a certain whatever type of new car. I want to buy a Mercedes Benz. What are they? I don't know Mercedes, but Mercedes Benz 500, CL 500 or something. Maybe that. And you have to give it a time frame when you want to have that by the end of the year. And then you can put specificity on it, what it looks like, and all those different things. So that's an example of being specific. I want to drink 8 glasses of water per day before 6 o'clock. I want to make sure I want to do intermittent fasting between the hours of 12 and 6 every day. Whatever it is. whatever it is. That makes it specific. And then I kind of moved into the next one, measurable. So you have to be able to measure it. So, in all those examples, I made it measurable, 8 glasses of water. So you can measure that. When you don't hit 8, that's a habit goal, but when you don't hit 8, you know it, right? So it needs to be measurable so that if you don't hit it, you know that you didn't hit it. So it can't be vague. I want to drink water every day, or I want to drink water. Because even every day is a little bit more measurable than just I want to drink water. So it can't be I want to drink water. I want to make more money in my business. It needs to be more specific. I want to make X amount of money each quarter, or this, it needs to be more specific. And the course, the mini course, we're going to go through how that specificity looks and how you can backtrack into that. Mastery members, you guys had some of that last night, how you have a certain goal and you back into it, and it will set up how you formulate your calendar of content, of events, products, and all of that. So it must be actionable. You must be able to take action on it. It can't be so far removed from you that you cannot it's hard to take action on it. R, it must be risky. Now, different people use different things for this R, but it must be risky. So it must be something that you just can't necessarily automatically do. And I know with certain goals, like habit goals, drinking water and do certain things, they might not feel as risky, but you do want to add some element of I'm going to need the Lord's help. I'm going to need help in doing this. So it's not super, super, super easy. The T is time bound. Like we said, they need to have a time frame, whether it be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. They need to be time bound. E, and this is the ER, these are the extra ones. It needs to be exciting. So it needs to be something that you are excited about doing. And then it needs to be relevant. So it needs to be something relevant to your life. I can't go really deep into this. Like I said, I'm going to have different ways or things I'm going to go deeper into it in that mini course. Masterclass people will go deeper into it in our next masterclass. Mastery people will go deeper into it in our next session. But these are the basic characteristics of things that get you started off with your goal setting journey. And I'm going to finish up in these last few minutes with this last part, recognizing what's stopping you from setting goals. Because a lot of times people, they have good intentions, but it does not come forth. So a lot of times there's certain things that will stop you from sometimes setting, sometimes even following through on the things that you have set at the beginning of the year. One of those things is fear. Your fear of setting the goals, fear of actually accomplishing, fear of the unknown. That will stop people from moving forward to this. They don't know what to set as the amount of money that they want to make a year. They don't know all these different things. Sometimes you just got to throw a number out, ask the Lord to help you, and just throw something out there. And if you miss it, it's okay, right? You can do some things to try to hit it the next time. Lack of organization. That stops people because you're not organized. You don't have a place even to write down all your stuff, all your goals and action plans in one place. You don't even have that. So you're not organized. You got pieces of paper everywhere, right? And they don't have a system or a place to put them in. And that's coming into the next one, having a lack of systems. You don't have a way to chart where you're at and where you started. So you don't have systems in place to help you with that, and that's for business, but that's for your other goals too. You don't have a system of where you evaluate where you're at different time frames throughout the year, or even that's a way of looking at your goals throughout the year. You don't have any of that in place. So that's going to stop you from moving forward with your goals. And then finally, lack of accountability. You don't have a community to hold you to your goals. You maybe don't have an accountability partner. You don't have any of that. So that's going to make it even harder to be able to fulfill these goals that you have. So in the same way, with the membership, Kingdom Business Leadership is built in accountability because we hold each other accountable on a weekly basis, where we're asking, what are your goals? What are you working on? And even drilling down deeper within that group, that you can have individual accountability partners as well. So that group, that membership, that the mastery side of that membership, which we created, you can easily easily do that. We don't quite do that. We do that at times within the collective, the free group, but because at times people might not be as engaged, it's not as easy to have that in that group. But it's a lot easier because the individuals in the mastery group, they've made an investment and they're completely engaged in what they're doing in their business. So we have greater response, greater engagement, greater wins when it comes to these things over there. So if that's you and you want to have that accountability, you want to have those wins, click that link that is in the, I was going to say show notes that are, and that's in and around this video, the kbln.com/connect, and you can get on that waiting list for when we open back up, because we only open a few times a year, and next year it's going to be even less that we're open. So definitely make sure you get on our connection list so that you will be the first to know when things open up, and when we run events, when we run promotions, when we run all those different things. So that's all I have for you when it comes to setting goals. That was 30 really fast minutes of what we're doing. I can't give you everything because we'd be here for, like I said, I'm creating a whole mini course around this. So this is a lot of information. So if you're interested in that, make sure you sign up on that connection list so that you can be one of the first ones that finds out about that, or join our collective group. You'll be sure to find out about that when that is launched, when it's released, so you can have that as part of your education when it comes to setting these goals. So you'll be able to know how to write out the goals properly, knowing how to have an action plan, and knowing how to create a system of discipline and checks and balances so that you'll be able to fulfill all of your goals, especially your business goals. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys that will look at the replay. Next week, we're going to be our final week in this series for the month. We're going to be talking about consistency and discipline. So we'll hit on some things that will help you to walk in some consistency and some discipline when it comes to your goals. So thank you guys for joining. Go ahead and like and share this out. Like I said, I'm on a public platform. I'm usually just in the group, but we are everywhere today. So thank you guys for joining, and I will look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. Have a good one. Bye, everyone.